Hello, Bill Molyneux here with Bill's History World, and we are at the Winchester Battlefield's Visitor Center, and we are actually at the third Battle of Winchester, and a beautiful November day, late afternoon, and we're going to just try to walk around a bit and just do some exploring before I head back to Baltimore. So maybe we'll both learn something. I haven't been to this battlefield before. And once again, I wish I had Scott Minkus, famous author and historian, with me. And he also recommended some special highlights for me to make sure I hit. Well, here's a placard, 3 battlefields. We could hear the heavy cannonading. The ground you stand on was part of 3 different Civil War battlefields, a testament to the frequency of combat around Winchester, Virginia. On June 15, 1863, during the Second Battle of Winchester, Louisiana troops cut off Colonel Andrew T. McReynolds' troops trying to break out just north of here. A Louisiana Tiger wrote that, "We jumped over a fence, fired into the enemy, and charged. Away started in all directions." During the Battle of Rutherford's Farm on July 20th, 1864, Confederate Colonel William L. Mudwall, Jackson's cavalrymen, attacked across the ground in front of you to bolster their army's crumbling right flank. The North Carolinas were all falling back, some throwing down their guns. As Jackson's men charged, they shouted to them, "Boys, gather up your guns." The attack temporarily drove back the Federals, saving many Tar Heels from capture. All right, well, on the morning of the Third Battle of Winchester began September 19th, 1864. The Confederate troops hurrying south to the battlefield passed here. We had to march through open fields. Woods recalled Private George Nichols, 61st Georgia Infantry. We could hear heavy cannonading on our left front. All right. Wow. So this pivotal town in the Shenandoah Valley saw 3 major battles, and then Cedar Creek further down the valley, and then of course New Market, Virginia. I'm going to say New Market's 35-40 miles. I'm sort of winging that. I'm pretty sure the visitor center is closed, but we will do a little exploring. The first Battle of Kernstown, March 23rd, 1862, Stonewall-Jackson Valley Campaign. First Battle of Winchester, May 25th, 1862. And that's where Stonewall Jackson had his men marching as fast as cavalrymen. All right. Now here we have the Second Battle of Winchester, June 13th through 15th, 1863. Scott Minkus does a bus tour for this particular battle and goes to the Star Fort, which I have already done a video of. Let's continue down our line. July 20th, 1864, the Battle of Rutherford's Farm. Okay. Boy, this little town and area sure saw a lot of combat. The Second Battle of Kernstown, July 24th, 1864. Now, if you're wondering, this is the campaign where General Early was trying to capture Washington. And then here we have the Third Battle of Winchester, September 19th, 1864, Sheridan's Shenandoah Campaign, where General Sheridan had orders to burn everything in the Shenandoah Valley, the breadbasket of the Confederacy. Well, here we have a museum visitor center. It happens to be closed today. But you know what? I'm going to walk around just give you a quick view of the building. So still has its shutters here. Sort of neat. Alright, now across the way are some walking paths and maps. I hope you'll stick around, and we're going to explore a few of those. Well, here we have a roadside marker. Union cavalry, some 6,000 strong, were pushing through to the Confederate lines. Philip H. Sheridan, General Sheridan, was in command. General Custer was part of the troops, and General Wesley Merritt regrouped the force of 1,000, spearheaded by George Custer's brigade, and the rebels said it was like 1,000 bricks fell upon them, and the Confederates had to fall back in retreat. So it was about a mile out, and we'll start walking a little bit to some of these other markers. But Custer proved to be a very effective cavalry leader in the American Civil War. And I don't have too much daylight. And Goober the Traveling Bear, by the way, is somewhere buried in the car. I just didn't even bother trying to dig him out. So, the northern flank, fury on the flanks. Well, here we have a map of the Shenandoah Valley, and we just have battles all the way up and down the Shenandoah Pike. So for today's mini video, I'm going to have to come back here in the spring or summer, but it's given us a little snippet. So Route 11's right out there, and that's where the Confederates were, and the Union were pushing them on the northern flank. Now I have a cell phone tour, but I can't dial that in while making video, so need to do the iPad. So here's our map. You are here. All right, here's that cavalry charge that broke the line and then reformed and came in again. Here's the city of Winchester. Now, 1864, Union victory. Let's see, the Third Winchester was the pivotal battles of the Civil War. Additional northern victories at Fisher's Hill, Tom's Brook, and Cedar Creek, coupled with the devastating region's agricultural in the burning, gave the Union permanent control of the valley and aided Abraham Lincoln's re-election and helped speed up the surrender of Robert E. Lee the following spring. And once again, this is considered the breadbasket of the Confederacy. Okay. We have a placard here, the Association for the Preservation of Civil War Sites. During its brief existence, the APCWS acquired a large portion of two major battlefields in the Shenandoah Valley. Saved thousands of acres of battlefield properties, including Cedar Mountain, Malvern Hill, Five Forks in Virginia, Bryce's Crossroads in Mississippi, Bentonville, North Carolina, Rich Mountain. Wow, and the list goes on. Now, this battlefield park is owned and operated by the Shenandoah Valley Battlefields Foundation. Park maintenance, development, and preservation depend entirely on your donations. Please consider your donation. Text PARK to 41444. All right. And they have the nice fencing here. Very picturesque in the Shenandoah Valley. We're going to walk down this path 100 yards or so, but I'm 3 hours from home, so I can't spend too much time here. Well, I walked a good 100 yards down the path, and I've come into Early moves to battle. The fire of the battle flashing in his eyes. All right, so General Early, Confederate officer, he moved his troops down Route 11, and he was able to get between General Sheridan's army and Winchester and get back to Winchester. And he stopped the Union advance temporarily, I guess is the best way to put it, but he kept them and slowed them down from just going into Winchester and continuing on. And worst of all, General Early could have been cut off from his supply line and plan of retreat back into Virginia and Petersburg, Richmond zone. So very pivotal that Early got on the road and moving ahead of Sheridan's army. Now for just a moment here, I thought we'd walk up this path and just see what's up around the corner. And then at that point, we'll see if there's any more markers. We'll pause the camera here and we'll get to the bend. Well, I've walked over 100 yards past that marker, and I'm on the rise here where that factory of some type is out there. That's where Route 11 is, and Winchester is behind me. And at this point, I'm not continuing with this walking tour, as I have nearly a 3-hour drive home. So if you're in Winchester, Virginia, there is so much history to see here. I'm just going to close this out with stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and visit Winchester, Virginia. Hello, I just wanted to follow up. Don't forget, Scott Mingus, famous author and historian, has many Civil War books, including books on the Second Battle of Winchester, Virginia. Thank you.